adventuresome ride up on barely any snow. But we're finally up where it's a little bit deeper. It's kind of some battle riding. Oh, speaking of battle riding, that was a rock. I'm so glad I'm on this ski and not the Yeti ski. I'm on the Quiver Nemesis ski. There was a melt freeze crust at the bottom that would have been basically unrideable. And this ski was handling it fine. It is so thin up here. Anyway, I probably would have turned around and went home if I was on a different ski. Even these rocks and stuff, this ski kind of, so far so good. I mean, it skates over the stuff. Even though you hit it, you feel it, it definitely doesn't just, doesn't have that aggressive keel that just stops in place. I'm sure, no doubt, I could break it off, break off my forks, but so far this ski does great. Finally, some fresh snow. This T-post will tell you how deep it is, or how not deep it is. There, no more melt freeze. I think when we get up higher here, we're gonna find some good stuff. You just gotta play it cautious still though. So if you see on my blackboard here, the professor's blackboard, was going to talk about the human factors in Avalanche. So we've had a horrible winter so far with snowpack, and what happens is you get that first dump and people are just crazy about getting out and they don't think clearly. Charge off into avalanche terrain without really thinking too much, and that's the scarcity principle. That's what gets people hurt a lot of times, especially middle of winter when you have a long time with no snow. Even if the snowpack's good, get some huge dumps of snow and everyone's powder hungry, goes off and hurts themselves. So now we've got that. We got a storm 2 nights ago that laid down pretty good amount of snow. Most of what you see here is from that storm. So we're charging off like lemmings. Although there's been so little snow, it'd be hard to, not a lot to avalanche up, at least in these low elevations. So there's some other things that are in the human factors. I'll probably talk about them a different day once I have a chance to erase my blackboard and go with the fresh one. Okay, we're speaking of lemmings. I guess we're all going to this dangerous drop-off that he keeps talking about. I was just going to talk about, I'm really liking this Acerbis seat, really comfortable. I don't get why people want to put a couch on their bike, otherwise known as C Concepts. I swear by them. Like, course, last year I mentioned about my iron taint. I ride mountain bikes and stuff all the time, so they're actually way more comfortable, but this seat is definitely more comfortable than my stock one. Because I better make sure my brake works before dropping off this precipice. Gotta make sure all the sleds are in front of me so no one's free sliding behind me. But yeah, anyway, it seems like, I know with bicycle racing, I mean, you always want a hard saddle. That's what keeps you from chafing and allows you to move around on the bike better. Okay, see some markers. Things are about to get real. I don't know if he's just trying to psych us out. I don't think we've ever seen this in the winter. He checked it out in the summer. Yeah, well, I have brakes. Feels like I need to bleed already. I'm gonna try an in the field bleed maybe. See if that's one way to save your Yeti brakes at halftime. That dangerous drop that he said was a piece of cake, especially with all this extra snow. Oh, sweet. This will be a fun hill to play on. Make sure snowmobiler isn't cruising behind me. I'm always conscious of that because I almost got run over that one time. Free sliding snowmobiler. Creek crossing, which I am not a big fan of. Little Trouble Creek. I think that's the name of a snowmobiling place. Maybe a golf course. Anyway. That was lame. Hey, we just forgot to run the camera, but we just went over a little avalanche. It's like an old slough dribble slide. Came across the road. So yeah, you got to be conscious of, like, right now we are under a slope that's steep enough it could avalanche, but you're on a road, so a lot of snowmobilers are just like, oh, you're on a road, don't even think about it, but we're cruising right underneath, and you can actually propagate, send a shock wave basically up the mountain on a thin layer that starts an avalanche like way way up at the top and comes down and covers you. But that's a little more rare, but definitely like whoever's leading out could definitely hit a weak spot in the snowpack if they're on fresh snow and trigger a slab that comes down and buries the people behind them or in front of them. So like that's a little stretch right there that it's a little sneaker dangerous. Right now there's really not a lot of snow that's going to come down, at least on that slope. But when we get up higher here, there's probably some that could come down on you. Well, there was considerable discussion, ridge versus road. I'm not even sure what the consensus was, but anyway, we're rolling. Well, I'm the odd man out, only snow biker. This guy in front of me, he got a snow bike. He's got two. He's got my old kit, Camzo. But he's on a sled today. Couldn't get him to come out on the snow bike. Alright, maybe this was the decision point. I think I'm going to stick with the road. Just going with my gut feeling on this one. Alright. There might be someone hurt. Oh, she's not hurt. Maybe the sled's hurt. So I'm going to see if I can get up there. See if I can pick a safe spot to get on this ridge. See how bony it is. Snow's pretty good right here.
Evaluating at this point.
All right, I'm up on top of the ridge and I was working my way back. I guess I'll keep coming that way.
It might not be as bad as we thought. Get down.
All right, I'm coming that way. made the connection with the snowmobile tracks. You good? Oh, I see. Okay, so when we were stopped back there before the birthday party, I did a quick brake bleed, and it didn't take much, and actually I'm back going again. Should time it, how long it lasts. But all it was I just barely cracked the what do you call it, the fitting, the bleeder. I barely cracked that, and while squeezing the brake, and then I tightened it up real quick. Definitely some air spurted out. And then the key is to release the brake lever after you've tightened it down again. So you basically crack it open, spit a little air out, keep your lever pulled. Luckily I got long arms, so I'm able to do it with the wrench in one hand and crack it open. I don't know, crack it open. I don't know what's going on here. They're interfering with my vlogging. Anyway, I just squeeze. He was. Here they come. He does, but he doesn't know how to use it. There's some stuckage going on. Snow feels great in here, but I am popping off the logs and stuff. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea to be in a track. Shock was open. Usually I ride with it closed, so it's more like a soft strut. But it was open, that's why I was trenching, I think. So it should work better now. It's kind of it's a bad design on this 18 YZ450F. It actually hits the valve, and when you're riding it will flip it on you. Well, the visibility is great because of a fire, but then a fire leads to trees constantly falling over. So once the snowpack comes in, it's all good, but right now we're kind of creeping through this minefield. I love the visual though, the white and black tree trunks. I like riding in burns. Maybe I'll have to call in a few less fires over the from the lookout. Let it burn a little bit more. Just kidding. There's a tree. Wicked cornice. Be the lake. Dan's on the lake. Well, this is about as high as you can legally get in these mountains. Guess we're gonna make a run at it up to, what is it up there, 8,000 feet? Finally got some snow coverage. Still, I was hitting a few lumps coming through. Snow feels great in here. Use caution on the creek crossings here. Sweet, sweet snow. Visibility's not great in here. Nice. It's like cousin got stuck, his helmet's off, so I'll go over and help him. You roll it. Rolling. Oh, come on. All right. 1, 2, 3.
No comment.
We're still going. Was that a swear word? Borrow this track. There is poor visibility. And a lot of big rocks up in this bowl. That was a fun climb though. Thankfully I had a track to go with. Well, Mark up there hit a rock. We thought it was maybe a stick. Anyway, his sled flipped on him. That's gonna be kind of difficult. We're gonna see if we can make it up to him. I gotta borrow a track though. Unfortunately, I'll be borrowing his track. Had some people get unstuck. Try to stay away from that giant hole right there. I could have, but I decided to come back and be with you guys. No. I don't know. I was wondering about that. Yeah, even up here at the highest altitude, it is, I mean, it feels so good, but you see these little warning signs poking up. And then we just had a buddy doing a magnificent hill climb, nailed a rock. It's pretty scary. Knocked him off. But it's good snow. Feels great. Well, definitely not blower pow. But the Nemesis ski is performing superbly. In fact, on that climb I was starting to bog down and I just moved all my weight forward. And boy, I just got it out on the ski and it just picked up nice. Made it all the way up. Beautiful out here. Coverage is nice. And yeah, I got air. Okay, I think we are heading home. Doesn't mean the adventure's not over. But we definitely made it up to the highest point possible. So mission accomplished there, but we kind of were short on daylight and I think we're planning I don't know, I'm actually not looking forward to a creek crossing. It's something I haven't really done on this. It's actually more like a river. Last time I bailed on it. I'll take a look at it this time, I guess. See, maybe there's some snow bridges in. I don't know, there's just something about, you know, rushing water. I just imagine ski getting sideways and me slipping, and it wouldn't be too big of a deal to crash as much as the problem would be if you fall laying in the creek. I do not want to be wet. Of course, that'd be a good test for my climb gear, Segway. I could be an ambassador and show off laying in the creek and how dry I am from stuff. Is comfortable. Good. But I have yet to put it through the rigors. I haven't really worn climb stuff till this year, and I am pretty much head to toe outfitted with climb right now. Of course, it definitely has the good reputation, but I just haven't personally experienced it myself till this year. Good.
What was that? I don't even know what that was. There's no excuse for this behavior.
I don't know what it was either. It was a demon.
There's no excuse for that.
It was that tree. That little one.
No. Thank you.
Sure. Hey, well, maybe it's evidence your arm's bent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's blame it.
What was I just saying? About the adventure not being over? Wind up in a tree well. Alright. Actually, I was up in somewhat of some rain yesterday. It was nice and dry. But I have yet to put it through like a really miserable day. So far, I haven't had the swamp butt. Typical snowbiker swamp butt. And I was getting that with the motor fist stuff I was using. I mean, the alpha bibs are good. They held off for quite a while, but in the end you would end up sitting in a puddle. But yesterday I did a little hand check, and I was sitting in, it was kind of raining. Anyway, I got to see for sure before I find out if it's a genuine waterproof crotch. I'm not even sure the water comes through the crotch. I have a feeling it kind of comes in around your neck and you know, just melts down, and eventually that's where it ends up. So maybe it's not actually the waterproofing material as much as you know, somehow the moisture just getting in, and when you're snow biking, that's where it's going to end up, because you're not standing as much as on a sled. I don't remember getting any waterproof problems on a sled, but you're standing all the time, so that moisture probably, I guess, is going down to your socks or something. I don't know, just a theory. Because it seems to be on those, not even necessarily rain, but like a really powder day, that's when things start happening. is a crown. Speaking of Avi 101, yeah, look at it right there. That this hillside slab avalanche was a crown from likely within the last couple days, probably that warm front when it first hit. Yeah, look at all this right there. Avalanche, tiny ones, but definitely something you got to worry about. Like if you're cruising down something like this, drop off there, this whole hill could go. Mobbing down some trail getting back so I can continue my avalanche lecture. When I think I got it on film, but when I was going across that steep, well, that's a steep ravine. I was going across that steep ravine that kind of dumped down into a creek, and where I got kind of stuck, I just kind of froze up right there because no one was really spotting me, you know, watching in case a little avalanche like that dumps down into a hole. That is dangerous, even though it's not a very big mountain where I was. Once you're covered, I mean, you're done. So I just kind of stopped there. Also, I didn't have my avalanche airbag handle out because it kind of happened so quickly. I wasn't ready for it. That's also another lesson I need to learn. You know, you never know when it can just happen quickly, so might as well have that handle out. So I just kind of waited, got on the radio, and one of my buddies circled around, and I asked him to spot me, and then I felt a lot more confident going for it. So I just knifed across that. But that's a good example of a rollover that's above the 30 degrees. That was probably like 35-degree slope, and a bunch of new snow on it. It could have easily avalanched, and even though it's a small run, it was a terrain trap, which is a keyword, one of those keywords, terrain trap. It was a steep ravine, and then you could see holes where it was into a creek. So really abrupt ending to it, so it doesn't take much snow. Here's that avalanche I was talking about, the little hump we went over. Anyway, steep ravine like that, if it starts sliding and you're out of control, and then you stop sliding at the bottom of the creek and a bunch more comes dumping down on top of you, you're not getting out. So it looks rather benign, but benign? That's the wrong word. Looks rather innocuous, but those are the things that can kill you. So I was right there in it on what seems like a day where you're not going to be in avalanche trouble. All of a sudden right there I was in a spot. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna try this river crossing. Alright, why we're crossing the river, I don't know. I guess just for the adventure factor. You can tell I'm a little nervous. And they just bombing across the creek? Or is there a snow bridge? I don't know. Stare at it too much. I can't believe I forgot to film it. I was too nervous. I crossed the river. Thankfully my climb boots are waterproof. We'll see actually. know, I keep raving about this ski, but that water crossing went surprisingly well thanks to the ski. And we've had some really mixed conditions here, and the ski is performing excellent. It's a little sticky still though. I mean, the turning, sometimes in the really sticky snow, you want it to be able to turn a little bit more, but the payoff is worth it for like mobbing down a trail. It's really stable, unbelievably stable. So I think we're about to do some crazy stuff here.